Okay, so this is the continuation of our topic in lesson 2 of your skills handbook. So here I will repeat the question: how could a scientist use sampling to investigate the health of the deer population in the forest preserve? So the possible answer is scientists could test a small part of the deer population for sickness. Then it could draw a conclusion about the health of the deer based on the area. So the scientist wants to study the health of the deer. So he could get some sample, and then afterward he could draw a conclusion. He cannot get all because it will take time. At the same time, if you try to do it all, it will be expensive for you to do your research. So better get a few sample first, and then at the same time, after doing that sample, you could apply it to another population of deer. So that is how scientists do things, because when you are doing a research also, you are spending money out of it also. So you need to save your money while you are doing a research. So let's go to the next slide. After survey and sampling, okay, here is the steps for investigation. Scientists use a specific method as they work in many different fields of sciences. Specific methods are organized way to answer questions and solve their problems. They also find some way to discover the cause and effects of many things. Like this one, girls. When you try to cut the apple, have you tried to notice that after a couple of minutes the apple will turn brown? But what will keep the apple slices from turning brown? Okay, one of the solution is this one. If you put lemon juice on the apple slice, then it will not turn brown because the juice, like the lemon juice, okay, the lemon juice will keeps the apple from reacting with the air. Because actually, girls, in science, when apple is turning brown, oxidation is happening. Oxidation is a chemical reaction of air to a fruits. Okay, so what are the steps of investigation? If you want to try to investigate why apple is turning brown, the first step of investigation there is first ask question. After asking a question, you could make your hypothesis. What is an hypothesis? Remember that hypothesis is the possible answer to your question, or it is a wild guess. Hypothesis must be a testable one. Hypothesis could start with the word if, then, and because statement. Okay, so let's go to the next presentation. Identifying and then controlling the variables. From an hypothesis, a scientist can identify the variables. What is a variables? A variables is something that can change in a test. There are three types of variables mentioned here: the independent, the dependent, and then the control one. I will explain this paragraph in this short illustration. The three types of variables in an experiment is this one: independent variables, dependent variables, and control variables. Let's try an experiment here. This is an experiment. The experiment is you are growing a plant, same plant, but different liquid that you are watering into a plant. In the first experiment, you are watering with soda, with Pepsi. In the next plant, you are watering it with juice. In the third plant, you are watering it with water. So what will be the result? You use the same kind of plant. You also measure it, and then all of the three plants have the same height. But the only difference is the liquid that you are watering on it. So the types of variables here are independent variable, which means the thing you change in the experiment. In this experiment, the thing that you change is the different liquids. Here is Pepsi, here is juice, and then In the third one is water. So the independent variable here is the type of liquid. The dependent variable is the change that happened, the result. Okay? So what will be the result of this one? The height of the plant after watering it in different liquid. The next type of variable is the controlled one. Everything you want to remain in constant. Okay, in this experiment, the thing that you never change is the type of plant and then the height of the plant. Remember that you use the same plant, correct? At the same time, both of these three have the same height. Okay, so that are the different types of variable when you are doing the experiment. Okay, now in number 5, identify what is the independent variables in an investigation to find how light affect the growth of the plants. Okay, the independent variables is the different amount of light or kinds of light that you are using in the experiment. Remember that independent variables is the one that you can control. So if you try to look at this one, independent are the one that you are changing. That's why the answer here is the dependent amount of light. Because, example, if you have a plant, one plant you put it inside your house, another plant you put it outside the garden. So the thing that you are changing there is the different light, because one plant is inside the house, another plant is in the garden. So the changes there is the light. Okay, and then the kind of light that you're using. Inside the house, you have the bulb light. Outside the house, you have the sun light. Okay, so that is the thing that you change. Remember that independent variables here, the thing you change. So here, the thing you change in this experiment is the light or the kinds of light that you are using to the plant. Okay, let's proceed to number 6. Interpret why is it important to have a control in your experiment. Why you need to control the types of plant here. Why you not need to change the types of plant here. The answer is it allows you to see what has changed in the experimental group of test. Because, example, if you use different plants here, example, this one is rose, this one is daisy, this one is lily. Do you think you could see result here? Yes, you could still see result, but it will not be the same. That's why you need to use same kinds of plant. Now, after that one, the next will be you need to make your plan. Make a plan to test your hypothesis. Decide what materials are you going to make. Okay? Then next, you need to test your hypothesis. Follow your plan to test your hypothesis. And then next, collect and record and interpret your observation. So, you need to record your data. Like example, in this experiment, what is happening after a week, after second week, after third week? If you are not recording your data, you might forget it. That's why writing while doing the experiment or recording your result is very important so that you have something to revise. Now, in question number 7, give an example. Think of a last time you did an investigation and collect data. How did you organize your data? Okay, I remember in my previous experiment, I used a camera. I do an experiment before using this material, a lemon juice and then an apple. I use a camera in day 1. I also use a camera in day 2. I also use a camera in day 3. Camera is the best device to record this kind of experiment because you could see the color in different day. Okay? Now, after collecting the data and recording it, you need to state your conclusion. You need to decide. Okay, your conclusion is an inference you make based on your data. Of course, you need to decide according to your data collected. Like this one, I need to decide according to my observation in this experiment and according to the picture that I took. So this one, the apple slice that was treated or applied with lemon juice stay fresh. So this one is apple with lemon. While the other one, they didn't put a lemon. What will be the result? This one looks fresh. This one is turning brown. Okay, because the lemon is preventing the air coming through this apple. While the other one is without the lemon. So the air is directly going to the skin of or to the surface of the apple. So the one with the lemon is protected and then the other one is not protected. So the lemon is helping the apple not to get brown. Okay, now let's proceed to number 8. After doing a conclusion, you need to repeat the trial so that you are sure that this thing is the result. Okay, number 8. Let's summarize. What is the important why is it important for a scientist to do a repeated trials when they are doing the experiment? Why they need to repeat? Remember, they are spending money. So why they need to repeat? Because if different results are obtained each time, scientists need to decide if the data are correct. They need to repeat it so that they know that the result is correct. And the result is the same again. They can validate. Now, in number 9, circle the picture of the control in this experiment. Remember the meaning of control here. The control variable is the thing that you didn't change, right? In this experiment, the thing that you didn't change is the plants and then the height of the plants. You use the same kind of plants with the same height. This is the controlled one. In this experiment, the control one is you use the same apple. Same size of the apple, same color of the apple. So, the instruction here is circle the picture of control experiment. The one that I control here is the apple. Because I didn't change, right? I use same apple, same sizes, but I only cut it into 2 so that I know the difference. That is the control one here. Number 10. What do you think the black heading of these 2 pages describe? That is the step of investigation. This black thing here, the black writing represents the step of the experiment. Okay, that is the step of investigation and experiment. Now, let's proceed. Document procedure. Procedure is very important. Procedure is the step-by-step instruction. It's just like, the recipe. You are following the instruction step by step. Now, in this question, what will be the next? So this is blank, right? What will be the next procedure here? The first procedure is gather the materials. Next is ask an adult to help you to cut the apples into slices. The next will be arrange the apple on the tray. So that is the possible instruction here. The next is here, fourth, and then the fifth is repeat the observation in another hour. So that is the possible instruction of this experiment. I will continue this lesson in the third part. See you there.